exhaust tips look awesome. I think I did a pretty good job making them even. Well guys, today there's no car in the shop, but there is a ginormous mess. A real shocker, I know. So I was thrashing to finish off that Chrysler for days and getting every last little thing to work. I drove it a couple days on a temporary permit, and I took it in for inspection and passed, and then I drove it for a couple days. So I've been driving it for about 5 days now. I haven't really been in the garage a whole lot, just been kind of taking it easy, relaxing a little bit, because I jammed on that thing pretty hard. Anyways, now, today's actually a terrible day. It looks not bad out, but it's right at freezing. There's a few things I want to get taken care of on it, so I'm going to bring it in, kind of show you the few things I don't like about it, and the things I do like about it, and a few last minute touches before it's banished to the street. I want to put an oil pressure gauge. It does have a light in it. I've been driving it, so obviously it's got oil pressure, but I like mechanical gauge. I bought a sender for the temperature gauge. Hopefully that'll work. And actually, one of you guys sent me a set of chrome tips, so I'm gonna slash these off, and so I left them long like an idiot. So we'll cut them, do that, get everything moved around. It's wagon time, so I think we'll bring it in, do a few things on it tonight, tell you what I like, don't like, what I got to find out, what I got to do on it. Overall, great car. I'm really enjoying it. It's got lots of power. If you're holding first gear at a roll and stab it, it'll just blaze the tire, which is awesome. And yeah, we'll switch cars around maybe tomorrow. It's supposed to be way nicer weather tomorrow. I plan on daily driving this Plymouth for the next little bit. We'll get the wagon in, and then maybe we'll do some kind of cool drone shots. I gotta find someone where I can go beat on this thing in like a gravel or dirt driveway, yard, whatever. So if you've got one and you don't mind me ripping it up, let me know. So yeah, anyways, I'm not gonna film it, but ugh, man, am I a dirty guy. I'll get this cleaned up, and we'll bring the hot rod in here and start working on it. All right, the garage is clean enough to go inside, but I figured I'd show you a few things that I'm not a fan of, but mostly all good. A lot of things are my own problem. There's a few rattles in this thing, which, oh, that's my bad. I think the exhaust is rattling against the fuel tank, which I'm actually going to try and deal with tonight. You know, stuff like, unfortunately, the rubber, so you can see right outside. So there's a fair bit of wind noise in this thing. You know, being a hard top all up in here and stuff. What am I going to say? It's old rubber, it needs to be replaced. How much do I want to spend? It's a little annoying. And honestly, the windows will be down most of the time I drive it anyways, so who cares? Second thing, which I both love and hate, I will say. Old school stuff with a key on the dash is cool. No steering lock, not cool. So I didn't worry about it too much till like a couple weeks ago. Uncle Tony put out a video of how to steal an old Dodge. Please don't watch that video and steal my car. Educational purposes. There's that. The thing that does drive me nuts, it can never be changed, and this is coming from a Chevy guy. I don't like the starter on the Dodge. Now, Chevys are a pain. They have to be shimmed and all that sort of stuff, but these Dodges, I guess, like the reduction starter. Now, maybe a mini starter will make this go away. You guys can let me know in the comments, but when you crank it and it doesn't light off, sorry, it takes like 8 minutes to spool down. Or which I find that annoying, because none of my stuff starts right now. Again, if I put a clutch or a choke and all that on, it might be a little different, but whatever. Otherwise, she cool. I can't complain. Now, one thing, all my stuff, almost all my stuff has manual steering, manual brakes. This being no different. I find the manual steering on this, I mean, the wheel seems big enough to be quite difficult. I'm gonna back this thing in the garage, but it's not bad when you're rolling. You can kind of do it one-handed. But when you come to a stop, like, it is unbelievably difficult. And this thing just has like 205 front tires on it, nothing crazy. So I mean, like 55 or Danny's car with the bigger wheel, I guess, maybe, but manual steering, and it was good. Now I wonder if because these could have had power steering, the manual steering they didn't try as hard on, or what. So this might actually be a car where power steering might be something I might look into. The brakes are fine, actually. Manual four-wheel drums, zero issues with. So those are my only, oh, another biggie. The seat. I have the seat as far back as I go. Now I'm tall, I'm like 6'2", but I don't find it comfortable. So I was thinking, okay, I can re-drill the seats and put them back. But I mean, there's hardly any room as it is. I think this side's actually further back for a person to sit in this thing. And I mean, I know it's a mid-sized car, but for a big car, there's really not a lot of room in here, which is strange. It's all hood and a hell of a big trunk, which is kind of cool, I guess, for storage and all that. Those are my only complaints. I am really starting to fall in love with this thing. I know a lot of you guys give it away, give it away. It would have to be a heck of a giveaway for me to give this thing away. I got a lot of time and money in it, and I just like it. Oh, neighbor. Oh, they're cool, they get it, they get it. But, yeah, kind of lost my train of thought there. Anyways, we'll put this thing back around, shoot her in the garage. We got a pile of parts. Actually, today, I got a set of retractors and cables for the wagon. You guys all pointed me in the direction of this, so I ordered them, and they finally came in, which is awesome. So, we'll get the sucker in the garage and start doing something. I don't know what, but we're on it. Car's in. It's right stuck against the door, so we'll do the sending units after we do the exhaust. Small garage problems, right? Hey, it's not always about size, guys. It's how you use it. So these are the tips. Now, there obviously were on a car, which is awesome. Looks like there's rubber and tar all over them, so they're well used. I'm going to cut them right on the weld, and these look like they're probably 2.5. Now, these Plymouths, when I do my little Googling, it looks like they stick out kind of about that much type thing. And actually, if you look, I don't know how it shows up, it looks like kind of this much is shiny. So I'm assuming that was under the car, and yeah, right there, never really got polished. So I'm going to do the same thing. So I'll get these zipped up. I can just cut that. I'll probably, you run the pipe up into there a little, and go from there. Now, the pipes aren't exactly symmetrical, so I will, now I think about it, I probably should have drove the car in so I can tack them on and then look at them from a distance and make sure they're not, but, hey, I'm an idiot. Anyways, I'm going to get these chopped up, we'll get these chopped down, we'll get them on there, we'll just tack them on. I'll probably just do that, tack them on 3 or 4 tack welds, and, I mean, the pipe will go damn near the end of the car anyways, and if I don't like it, I can bend it or do whatever, and then I can finish weld it at some other time, or never. See you in a bit. The one pipe I cut, well, I cut them both down, obviously, so they're just on the inside of the bumper. The one side there, I cut the hanger and re-welded it, because it was a little high, a little cattywampus, but it looks good enough. I don't know where the old pipe was that I had. Did I do what with it? I mean, anyways, so the pipe was on. I just used this one to make them fit, but the pipe was in a little bit. Just kind of cut the weld, slid it off, and kept basically the entire tip. I think that looks way, way, way better. I've never been a chrome tip guy, I gotta say, but it's like these Dodge feelings are just coming out of me, and I can't stop. So now, I'll back this thing up a little bit. We got 2 things to do with the oil pressure, which is at the back of the motor, very easy to get to. Like, I'll just unthread it. A lot of guys will tee it and run the idiot light and then the gauge. I'll just run the gauge. And in the front here, I took it out. There's a plug there. This thing did have a little, it had something in there, a sensor or whatever. I just plugged it. That's where I'm going to run the water temperature gauge, because I believe that's what this is. I'll probably have to cut that and extend it to fit, because it's, small block stuff, or how I have it wired or run or whatever. But that should be very simple, like unthread it, thread a new one in, and then same with that. I'll run the tube for the oil pressure gauge inside. We'll put it up beside the tachometer, and hopefully then we'll have volts or whatever charging. Temperature gauge on the dash will work, and we'll have an oil pressure below with the tachometer. I think that's not getting a lot done, but these are just fine little things. Oh, and I got to empty junk out of the trunk, because it rattles when I drive, and I think that's it, because I might be the trunk lid itself. Might be touching a little. But yeah, so we'll get this thing kind of moved around, we'll get right back to it. Okay, gauge time. So this is our gauge. Now, the way this is going to be, this is actually a mechanical gauge, and the coolant is the electric gauge. So this one's very simple. It'll actually have a mechanical hose, which it'll go right into basically, I think it's the main oil galley of the block at the back there. You see right kind of there. That's where this was, which I pulled out. So if you start the car right now, it'll gush oil out. But so this is, again, this would be an electric sender for the idiot light. So I guess if it has pressure in it, the oil light goes off. If it doesn't, the oil light goes on. Anyways, we took that out. We're going to replace it with this, which is the same thread as that. And then on the line, you have a little coupler. It's like a compression fitting. So they're both the same. This one will go to the back of the gauge. This one will go to our fitting, and then it'll just read. And then we just have a light, which is power and ground, which will hook up to the tachometer lighting. Now over here, so this is the plug we're going to take out of the water pump, or whatever you want to call it, front kind of a coolant thing on these Dodges. As you can see, this is smaller, so it will not thread in. So I have one of these, which is a little adapter or whatever, reducer. So the thread pitch is the same, so we'll thread that in, and then this can then thread in like that. We'll put this whole mess in, and then we'll hook the wire up, and then this hopefully should work. No guarantees. The gauge might be screwed, there might be some wiring issues, all that stuff, but everything else in the car has just worked, so I believe it'll go fine. Now, with the oil, you don't really got to worry, because if it's not running, it's not going to be yakking oil out. With coolant, this one, we're going to want to move fast, because once we take this out, coolant's going to come out. So we'll have that all kind of Teflon tape ready to go. The only thing you want to make sure when you're doing this, these fittings, they got to be snug so they don't leak, and you compress this around the line, but too tight and you'll strip it, and then it's useless. And you can't buy stuff like that. Well, you can buy a replacement kit, I believe, but that's not at Home Depot on a Saturday night. Alright, I'll get these kind of dialed together, I'll show you how it all works. Alright, I tried to work fast, but whatever. We got coolant everywhere. So we got the fitting in, I extended the wire, it's all connected. So that's a nice little win. In the back here, we've got the line that runs around and goes in there. Kind of hard to see, but she connected. So now, we'll just see what happens. I'm confident. The temperature will probably take a little bit. Oh, it's dark out. Oil pressure should happen instantly. We'll just see here. Ugh. There we go. Holy crap. 60, 70. Wow. Dodge. I always heard they were kind of high and idle and they kind of calmed down, but that's just a standard high volume pump I put in there. But yeah. Old exhaust tip dueling away. So I'll clean up a little bit, I'll let it run. I'll still fix the fuel gauge. But we'll see if that temperature gauge moves. It's reading dead cold, which it always has been. We'll see if it starts warming up. If not, what are we gonna do? Well, I'll clean up and hopefully show you a working temperature gauge. Well, good news, bad news. The exhaust tips look awesome. I think I did a pretty good job making them even. Oil pressure gauge works obviously, but the temperature gauge has not moved, so that's a bummer. So I don't know. So running for a little bit. Oh, bad ground, wire's broken, who knows what. But it's getting dark. I've had enough for the day. Tomorrow we're gonna move the cars around. I'll take this thing for a little test drive. We'll do a couple drone shots, hopefully if Danny's into it. And yeah, I don't know. I really like this car. I gotta say, you guys may have been right. It might be a keeper. We'll see what happens. See you tomorrow. Well, it's the next day. Took Dodge to work, made her back home. It's a good cruiser. So anyways, we're gonna switch the Wagon around. The weather's starting to get decent, still kind of chilly, but whatever. I want to get the Wagon in the garage. I don't even know what else I have to do to this thing. It's been a while, so all I did, pulled the hood, and I put a battery in, and we'll see if she starts. What I want to do, oh wow, I forgot how tight this thing is get on the wiring. So I'll just back it over a little bit, draw on the coil, give her a few pumps. Oh yeah, she'll go. Got no fuel in the bowls probably. This thing actually was sitting in a absolute snowbank. Come on. Ooh. She's not happy. There we go. Well, there we had. Perfect. Well, we'll let her warm up. Ugh, we'll let her warm up and get her moving. Well, what an absolute task. Oh, right, so the problem is, well, I have many problems. The hood being cut out allowed all this, we got a pile of snow in this thing. Maybe I'll put a picture up if I remember when I'm editing it. The whole thing was just covered in snow. So water got down, and the distributor's clearly missing on a couple of cylinders. Fortunately, it looks like there's water in the oil, which again, I don't know. Look how dirty this thing is. Like, my God. Just leaving it outside. I can't have nice things. But, so we're in. It's hot, because I let it kind of warm up a little bit. And this thing runs so rich, I got to tune it all up. But, we're going to leave it for right now. Going to do a little cleaning up in the yard, so I'll put the hood out there and stuff like that. It had some sort of transmission leak. I had to put 2 or 3 liters of tranny oil in it for it to move. So that was a treat. But yeah, so there we go. Projects have been switched. We're going to cool off for a little. I'm going to clean up in the garage. I'm going to show you, I'll give you a once over with the car one more time. It's been a while since we've seen it. I didn't really know where I left it and what we're going to be working on. And then yeah, we'll shut her down, start working on a new video with whatever I decide. Probably wiring. Stupid wiring. Well, it's always weird doing videos where you're kind of doing one thing and then you flip over to another car completely, but yeah. So, Plymouth is outside. 55 is actually in the driveway. I was on the street for a while, so I got that all dialed together. Probably start working on that a little bit. It's got some sort of a fueling issue, so I don't know. I'm sure it'll be an upcoming video. The Plymouth, we're basically done with it for now. The weather's kind of mediocre. When it gets a little nicer, I'm sure MURch will come over and he'll be polishing the hell out of that thing. You guys always love that stuff, so we'll bring MURch, and actually his polishing stuff's here, I think, somewhere. Right, there it is. So, yeah, that'll be there. Now, I figured I started a video by bitching about the Plymouth. I might as well finish it by bitching about the 56. So, you know, I've been jamming so hard on the Plymouth the last month, I almost forgot where we were at in this thing, but I clearly see now I've done stuff on the quick. I mean, there's leaking oil, the valve covers, there were missing bolts and stuff like that. There's no charging system, nothing like that. Obviously, the wiring is atrocious. No heater, no nothing like that. I believe the brakes are all done, but I was looking under there. I don't have anything cotter pin, so I should probably cotter pin up the suspension. Finish putting the splash guards underneath and all that. But, yeah, I picked up, so this is the retractors, I guess, or cables, limiting cables for the tailgate, which I want to do that right away. And honestly, I think I might do a full video on it because I didn't find a whole lot of information on it. This stuff is pretty cheap. It's kind of cool. It's like a janitor set of keys or something like that. This just kind of bolts on, and then it has a spring-loaded thing, which then clips onto this, which goes into the tailgate somehow. So we'll figure that out together. That'll be fun. So we got that coming up. The wiring has been run front to back in the car. But, well, when I say run, I mean just thrown in there and zip tied to the brake lines. But, so we can do all that. We gotta do headlights, turn signals, horn, wire charging system, all those sort of things. I do have inside, it's missing a bunch of stuff. It's got no ignition switch. Oh, there's a headlight switch. I gotta decide what I want to keep there and what I need. I think I do have an ignition switch. There's no radio, there's no speaker plate, something like that. I gotta go through all that. deal with the pedals, rip the clutch pedal out and stuff like that. I have no side trim for the carpets and stuff like that. The one thing I hate the absolute most about this thing right now is the way the seat is. Now, it's mounted in the factory spot, and it's got a replacement floor, so I know it's right. And I mean, it looks right. I mean, the back of the seat is kind of right there. I don't fit in this thing. It's just absolutely ridiculous. And if you open the back door, look at the amount of legroom. There's more room in the back seat than the front seat. So, when I was looking at this, I actually didn't even mount it. It's just got two little hooks holding it down. So, I will deal with that for sure. I'm going to put the seat back, I'm going to say 6 inches or something like that. I'll basically be sitting in the back seat, but it'll be comfortable for me. And I'll make sure the seat goes far enough ahead that Danny or a fellow short crotch can drive it. So we got that going on. I mean, really, I don't think there's a whole lot else I got to do. Lots of little tiny things, stuff like that. But hopefully the next few weeks or a month, this thing actually be on the road legitimately. I was going around pricing out new weather strip, stuff like that. All the doors need to come apart. None of the windows work. The one passenger side door fits like crap. The one fender's not on. So there's going to be a lot of, I don't even know what I'm going to call it, vlog style repair. Because I'm going to come out and I mean, the fender's not bad. It's not a whole video. I'll get it in, I'll weld it up, I'll put it on. They'll probably work on the door getting it fitting. So it'll just kind of be every couple of days putting out videos. Which hopefully you guys enjoy. I think you do. You keep coming back and watching. So I appreciate the hell out of you. And yeah, I think that's where I'm going to leave it. It's Saturday night. We got live stream coming up right away. I'm going to carry on cleaning. I got to run the Canadian Tire, get a few garbage bags, kind of stuff like that. Start making a list of stuff I need. And yeah, I'm actually, you know, the getting the Satellite running and driving, it was stressful and stuff. And I mean, obviously I was going back and forth between both cars, not really moving that fast because you'd work on one car for a month, another car for a month, and it just, you put all that time in, the cars weren't done. But now, Satellite's dialed, on the road, everything, and I'm probably 3 weeks or a month away from the 56 being done, so I get like double glory, you know what I mean, which is pretty awesome. Oh, and this thing was, it didn't want to run, this transmission oil was low, and I just see it pouring out, so we'll add that to the list as well. But thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think, and I will, well, I'll be back at it tomorrow, working on wagons. Alright guys, see you later.